here, and it's looking like the best that I can really tell is Vashon Island Rowing Club is vying for that first place position with Eugene Rowing Club. Eugene Rowing Club since 1986, so they've been building their program up ever since and clearly doing a fine job of it because they are vying for that first place spot again. This is an A final, so big deal for these U17 quads here.
Yeah, and I think we might have a race developing for that. I think I'm seeing some chopping and changing for 4th and 5th place, and that is the all-important national championship qualification spot. It looks like Vashon might have succumbed to, I think Oregon Rowing Unlimited might be starting to charge up from that edge lane.
You know, I'm so glad you said that because we have a heck of a race forming here. Like you said, again, Oregon Rowing Unlimited, I think, was poaching these top two crews here, Eugene and Vashon, just waiting. So that was a slow burn of a race if I ever saw one, because now they are on the hunt.
Yeah, and they are storming through the rest of the field right now. It seems like
down to the beach and do not miss. Oregon Rowing Unlimited led by Freya Little.
Dang. Holy smokes, folks.
Making the move.
Just accelerating every stroke.
Just cutting through them like butter here. Absolutely slicing through the rest of the competition here. Overtaking Oregon Rowing Unlimited, crossing the line in first. Unbelievable. Followed by lane 4. Eugene Rowing Club.
Way to go, Eugene.
Followed by lane 2, Vashon. Unbelievable racing here. Lane 6 coming in next.
6 just got it. It looked like
6, that would be Vancouver Lake, followed by Olympia Area Rowing Association.
Heartbreaking for Olympia. They, I think, were very hopeful that they would catch up to the Vancouver Lake hometown heroes. They just made that national qualification spot.
Right, and as you see here, lane 3.
Oh, no.
Lane 3, that is Seattle Prep. Looks like they've had a mechanical, they've had some sort of breakage.
It looks like
coming across the line, but they are finishing the race here. They are coming across the line, so indeed it doesn't look like a medical of any kind, but some sort of breakage.
No, it looks like a double crab. She lost both those oars, and they were not able to get them out.
Yeah.
Wow. I haven't seen a double crab like that in a while, but they are debilitating when you lose both of your oars like that.
It looked like she had an issue on the port side. Something broke her, the bow pair, the bow seat there was grabbing her oarlock in front of her. They are clearly quite upset about this. I know. Lane 3, you really hate to see that. I really feel for them. We've all had those kinds of races.
That's so heartbreaking.
It really is.
Nuts.
It really is. Doesn't speak anything to their performance. Breakage happens, and it is heartbreaking to see. So very sorry to see that for Seattle Prep U17 quad in such a phenomenal final like this. But
indeed. But as U17 athletes, you know, this is not their senior year. They'll have another crack at the apple next year. So
of course, not comforting right now, but they will hopefully get out there again.
And it looked like they were having a good race at the start. When we first got eyes on them at around the 750, they appeared to be in the mix. So whatever happened, I think must have been very disappointing if they thought that they were going to either qualify or going to medal. Regardless, you hate to see it. But hopefully they learned something. You know, I'm sure that the coaches are going to be diagnosing whatever happened with that boat. It looks like they do have the rear wing rigger set up, which is where the riggers actually go behind each athlete. So I'm wondering if that had a component to play. Maybe it was an oarlock. Maybe it was the riggers themselves. You know, there's so much speculation that we could toss into this. I would like to, however, shout out to Vashon. We spoke with Ben Steele earlier this weekend, as I mentioned, and he shared that when he came on board in 2016, there was literally one girl on that team, and they had not qualified a quad for an A final in years. So for them to have a quad in not only the varsity final earlier that we witnessed, but also in this U17 quad, that's just tremendous. So shout out to Ben Steele and his wife Delaney. They are such good people and are doing great things with the program down there at Vashon and clearly growing the girls team into a successful component of our regional tapestry of teams down here. So our official results, Oregon Rowing Unlimited with the win at 7:46. Well done them. Eugene, 3 seconds behind them with the 7:49. Vashon rocking third. Vancouver Lake winning that fourth place spot. Congrats to them over Olympia Area Rowing. Just missed out by about 2.5 seconds. And then Seattle Prep bringing it home with that. Whatever happened with their rigger or oars or what have you, I just hope that they can take from it, this is a learning experience, whether it be learning about equipment or about how to handle the emotions of a disappointing outcome like this.
Yeah, which we truly understand is not comforting to hear in the moment. So we do understand, but hopefully they have other boats to race this weekend as well, hopefully, as we get a little bit of sun now. Just peeking out of the clouds on these perfect conditions here. It is very roughly 58 degrees here, perfectly flat water.
Yeah, the wind has dropped. It's still from that cross direction, but it's now at 5 miles an hour. And honestly, it looks less down at the start of the course. It looks perfectly glassy at the start, which is could not ask for better weather. We're so fortunate today. And as we look ahead down the course, it seems like the next race is approaching the 750-meter mark. We've got some visuals on the screen, and it looks like we've got the women's U17 B final for the quads.
That's right. Yes, again, very hard to see from our perspective here at the finish line. But in lane 3, we have Pocock. Lane 4, Renton. And lane 5, Pocock B. So again, a 2-boat Pocock race in this B final.
And I see a familiar name on the list here. The Pocock B boat is stroked by Anya, who I got to coach in her novice year a little bit. Super awesome human. Really stoked to see her here today. She was one of the pandemic athletes that came aboard kind of at the height of COVID, and it's really encouraging to see athletes that came aboard during that tumultuous era sticking with the sport, enjoying the sport, still competing. And I just have so much respect. I honestly don't know if as an athlete, I would have been able to stick with rowing during such a thing as a pandemic. It was really tough times, especially all those kids that had to, get into classroom or get out of classrooms and get into entirely virtual learning experiences. But we've got a better vantage point on the race now. And it looks like Pocock, at least lane number 3, is behind Renton. I think Renton might be in the lead right now.
That's right. It's really, really hard to tell here because that Pocock boat in lane 3 is making quite a move as we are just 2 strokes away from the red buoys here taking us to the finish line chute. And it's looking to me like Pocock has now overtaken Renton by just a little bit. So we have, again, Pocock A, Renton, and Pocock B.
Yeah,
Pocock A has definitely overtaken Renton. About bow to stern, though. Renton has not let them loose.
Yeah, it seemed like Renton started to check that charge just a little bit and responded. And now it looks like they're pretty evenly matched.
I'm going to predict that Renton is going to go early.
Okay.
I think they're going to start bringing their stroke rate up a little bit early and see if they can catch this Pocock crew because they know they can and they have before. So I'm actually going to put some money on Renton here as they start to bring their rate up.
I think Pocock's bringing that rate up too. And even though Renton is in the lead,
but is it too late?
It is too late, I think. Yeah, I think Renton's got enough of a lead, even though it looks like Pocock might be moving. It's tough to tell from our angle.
I think Renton didn't want to take no for an answer here, and Renton is going to cross the line first in that beautiful blue, followed closely by Pocock A, and then rounding out our B final will be Pocock B.
Oh, wow. That Pocock B boat is sitting very high in the water. And as I'm looking at the athletes, and I think I know that boat that they're rowing, that's definitely a heavyweight shell. And unfortunately, that's going to be a little bit tough for smaller athletes to row. So I can't help but wonder if that's a bobbing sort of experience that they're having with that boat, because that's definitely riding pretty high in the water right now.
Well, either way, well rowed. Again, to Pocock B for rounding out that B final for us.
Yeah.
And we will try to get eyes.